everyone.
Good
It is
morning.
it's a joy to welcome everyone to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Harford County on Zoom. I hope you're all relaxing in your pajama bottoms, enjoying the service with us this morning. I'm Kimberly Roberts. My pronouns are she and her, and leading the service with me this morning is Laura Poligo, worship associate, and our director of music, Brenna Kufferman, who you've probably been listening to for the last couple of minutes.
I'm Laura Poligo. My pronouns are she, her. I'd like to extend a special welcome to newcomers, especially those who are here for the first time.
Unitarian Universalism is a tradition that values diversity and embraces the wisdom of all faiths. We use science, reason, and the gifts of the Spirit to explore life's mystery and meaning. Whatever the faiths you have known, if any, you are welcome here.
Whatever your race or where you were born, whatever your immigration status or country of origin, you are welcome here. Whoever you are and whatever your gender, whomever you love, you are welcome here.
We gather this morning in community to restore the balance of our spirits, to celebrate the joys of life, and to find the strength to meet our sorrows. And in the earliest meaning of the word worship, to consider ideas that are worthy of our time and our attention.
In this tradition, we know that people need not think alike to love alike.
This morning, we're going to be exploring the book, Social Justice for the Sensitive Soul, How to Change the World in Quiet Ways. It's never been more needed than right now.
And now the sound of the bell and the music of the prelude help us center ourselves as we enter into a time of worship.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is
Our chalice lighting this morning is by the Reverend Michelle Collins. Welcome all who are restless for a world renewed. We come carried by ancestors who refused the silence of despair and dared to sing a new song. Their courage whispers through us still. Today, we resist by showing up together. We resist by keeping faith with what is not yet. Our gathering is itself an act of sacred descent, calling us to rise and unite as co-creators of a freer tomorrow. Welcome to this place of peace. May we find some moments this morning in quiet contemplation. Welcome to this place of celebration. May our hearts soar with gratitude for the gift of life. Welcome to this place of sacred love. May we gently hold all that is broken here. Welcome to this place of inquiry. Here, may we be challenged to open our minds and our hearts even wider. Come into this place of community. May we together form a circle of love and safety. Welcome to this sacred place. Come, let us worship, celebrate, grieve, and love together. And won't you join in singing, muted if you would, our opening hymn, 123, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
One commitment that we make as members of a covenantal UU community is to care for one another. We take a moment each Sunday to care for one another so that congregants can share a joy, a sorrow, or a gratitude. And just as we care for those in our community, we extend our concern and our compassion for those in the wider world. There are many who are suffering and afraid, and we begin by lighting a candle for them. Laura, would you light a candle? If you'd like to share this morning, you can do a couple of things. You can share in the chat, and Brenna will read it for you. You can also go to your screen, and maybe Brenna can explain this a little bit as to how to do that.
Yeah. So if you'd like to actually share yourself, you can go to React. And once you click on that, there is an option for raising your hand. When you raise your hand, we will see the order of who has raised their hand first. And when I call on you, you can unmute and share. Please remember to unmute and then remute once you're done sharing. And then we'll move to the next person. Would anyone like to? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, no. And if by the end of this, if you think we've missed you, please don't hesitate to unmute and let us know what you'd like to share this morning. So, on a general reminder, this is not a time for announcements or to share someone else's story without their permission. And also politics, although I don't think sharing your feelings about terrible things that have happened in the world is politics. So go right ahead. So as people speak, let's listen with attention and hold one another in love.
Would anyone like to share? Nyla, there is a candle from Nyla in the chat. This is the UUFHC Zoom service. Indeed, it's been a while. Karen, go ahead.
This is a candle of concern. My brother's widow has been in the hospital over a week. She had pneumonia and she's got a very weak heart, and she's been unconscious. I guess they finally woke her up on Friday, but she's not talking yet. We're very worried about her. Anyway, thanks. If you could send her any prayers or healing thoughts or comfort for her family, we'd appreciate it.
Thanks, Karen. Healing thoughts her way. From Erin, she's grateful for the opportunity to go to Minnesota and march in the cold with so many, many other people in solidarity. Thank you, Erin. And Jason.
Hello, May.
Oh, Wolf, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like a candle lit for my cousin's wife, Valerie, who's been in the hospital.
Voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing. In storm and rain, sorrow and pain, still we remain singing. Calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years singing. Voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing. In storm and rain, sorrow and pain, still we remain singing. Calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years singing.
Thank you, Brenna. We give thanks this morning for all the people here today on Zoom and all the people who are not on Zoom with us this morning. With love at the center, we care for one another and extend that care into the wider community through actions for equity and justice, which, no matter how small, work toward the transformation of our world.
This fellowship intentionally welcomes the pluralism of theological beliefs as members seek to learn and grow, acknowledging our interdependence as we help each other toward deeper understanding. We give thanks for the spirit of generosity that inspires and encourages. We give thanks by giving to others in return for all that we have received. We give thanks in the depths of our souls as we support the mission of this congregation with our financial contribution, our pledges, and our offerings. Contributions that allow this congregation to reach out to all who seek a life-affirming message of love and hope.
Please click on the link in the Zoom chat to contribute, or you're sitting at home and you have your smartphone right there, so you can use that. Go to the ufhc.net website and find the donate links down at the bottom of the homepage. There are two links, one for pledges and one for general offering. So just click that and be sure to write in there what you'd like your donation to be for. And whatever method of giving you choose, thank you for sustaining our loving UU community and in keeping with our religious heritage, drawing that circle of love and justice a little bit wider.
In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment, there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is love, there is love. In the stillness of this moment, there is love, there is love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment, there is love. In the stillness of this moment, I am peace, I am peace. In the stillness of this moment, I am peace, I am peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment, I am peace. In the stillness of this moment, I am love, I am love. In the stillness of this moment, I am love, I am love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment, I am love, I am peace, I am love, I am.
In the late 19th century, a quiet, unassuming young man named Mohandas boarded a steamship to travel from his native India to England to study law. Being a lawyer hadn't been the 18-year-old's first choice, but his father had pressured him to pursue that profession. He decided to make the most of it, taking the chance to see another part of the world. But he struggled with culture shock from the moment he left his home country. On the steamship and after arriving in London, he was embarrassed by how differently he behaved and dressed, and he just couldn't seem to find his place. In search of people to connect with, he joined the London Vegetarian Society and was elected a member of the executive committee. The law student faithfully attended every meeting, but try as he might, he couldn't bring himself to speak. Everyone else seemed more articulate, more opinionated, and sharper in their thinking. But I was at a loss to know how to express myself. All the rest of the members appeared to me to be better informed than I, he reflected later. Then it often happened that just when I had mustered up courage to speak, a fresh subject would be started, and this went on for a long time. It wasn't that he didn't have anything to say. Mohandas had plenty of thoughts. He just couldn't quite put them together and verbalize them on the spot. He tried different ways of participating and sharing his views. He would write his thoughts down before meetings. And sometimes, if reading his own words felt too difficult, he asked someone else to read them for him. And when he did speak, he was prone to anxiety and losing his train of thought. On occasion, his body shook and his vision blurred. In the Vegetarian Society and elsewhere, he avoided large crowds, resisted small talk, and never gave impromptu remarks. Far later in life, this constitutional shyness, as he called it, which had been a source of shame and embarrassment in his younger days, became a distinct advantage that would shake the world. Its greatest benefit has been that it has taught me the economy of words, Mohandas said. I have naturally formed the habit of restraining my thoughts. It has allowed me to grow, and it has helped me in my discernment of truth. Today, many would consider his own descriptions of his shyness and introversion as evidence that he was highly sensitive. A highly sensitive person, according to Dr. Elaine Aron, the clinical psychologist who discovered this personality type and coined the term, can be recognized by these 4 traits: depth of processing, quicker to overstimulation, emotional reactivity, and sensing the subtle. Mohandas, the glossophobic of the London Vegetarian Society, needed longer than his colleagues to process his thoughts. He had an intense, visceral response to being the center of attention and was highly attuned to any ridicule or impatience he might see in the eyes of his colleagues. But rather than fighting who he was, over time, Mohandas learned to embrace his innate sensitivity, to leverage it, to use it for good, and in doing so, he changed the world. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, more commonly known as Mahatma Gandhi, is often considered the founder of the modern nonviolence movement, which has toppled oppressive systems and inspired peace across the globe. So ends the reading. Laura.
Yeah, it didn't want to unmute.
There you go.
Continuing to share from Social Justice for the Sensitive Soul does this. Social justice work we offer is raised voices and raised fists. It requires leading, advocating, fighting, and organizing wherever it takes place. In the streets, slums, villages, inner cities, halls of political power, and more. I often think of climate change activist Greta Thunberg, who, with an assist from her Asperger's syndrome, stubbornly and persistently faces down some of the world's most powerful leaders and remains singularly focused on saving our planet. Or education activists, Malala Yousafzai, who famously said in a 2009 television interview, "All I want is an education, and I am afraid of no one." 3 years later, at the age of 15, she was shot in the head by the Taliban. After recovering, she continued her advocacy on an even bigger world stage. As young adults, Thunberg and Yousafzai demonstrated courage rivaling that of valiant warriors. The author calls this the activism ideal. Those of us who care about social justice must always be bold and fearless in the thick of the action and direct confrontation with the oppressor, against the oppressor.
The sphere of social justice, with its activism and advocacy, protests and pushback, debates and call outs, does not seem like the right place for tender-hearted, easily overwhelmed individuals, but it is exactly where we need to be. Humanity needs our conscientious, intuitive, creative, compassionate souls at the forefront of addressing our most painful and pressing challenges. Maybe you aren't going to be the one holding the megaphone at a protest or demanding justice. Maybe you'd rather not march through the offices of elected officials or do door-to-door canvassing. So what does social justice work look like for those of us who don't feel comfortable battling in the trenches? What type of social activist have you tried to be already? How has that fit with your personality, your strengths, and your limitations? Over the past century, the greatest and most impactful social movements have been made up of all kinds of people doing all kinds of different activities. There have been writers and philosophers, artists and administrators, engineers, scientists, teachers, historians, chefs, secretaries, accountants. Social change has come about through kindness, friendship, data technology, art, ideas, research, mentorship, dialogue, and more. No matter your flavor of sensitivity, there is a place for you to contribute in a unique and meaningful way.
Yes, stepping into the arena of social justice can be frightening and confusing. There will be challenges without clear answers. There will be hard experiences and intimidating people. The role that best fits you will probably change and evolve as you change and evolve. The sphere of social justice, with its, it's like I'm repeating something.
Nope, you're
The
good.
sphere of justice, with its activism and advocacy, protests and pushback, debates and callouts, does not seem like the right place for the tenderhearted. Humanity needs conscientious, intuitive, creative, compassionate souls. Sensitive souls, including those who consider themselves highly emotional, empathetic, or introverted, have much to contribute to bringing about a more just and equitable world. Such individuals are wise, thoughtful, and conscientious. They feel more deeply and see things that others don't. We need their contributions. Yet sustaining justice work can be particularly challenging for the sensitive, and it requires a deep level of self-awareness, intentionality, and care. Finding your place in the social justice sphere is not about conforming to someone else's version of who you need to be. It's not about contorting yourself to fit a particular role or with finding yourself. Philosopher and theologian Howard Thurman said, "There is something in every one of you. Waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in yourself. It is the only true guide you will ever have. And if you cannot hear it, you will spend all of your days on the endless strings that someone else pulls."
So this next reading was from someone who has been trying to be active in social justice activism. So I'm going to read it to you now. It began in a crowded auditorium, my palms slick with sweat as chants swirled around me. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. The electric energy made my body feel like a live wire, overloaded, fraying. I slipped out early, guilt clawing at my throat. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this, I thought, collapsing onto a park bench. Later, scrolling through a friend's Instagram, I saw a post. For the ones who feel too much and burn out too fast, and attached was a photo of Social Justice for the Sensitive Soul by Dorcas Cheng-Tozun. I ordered it that night, and when it arrived, I devoured it in 2 sittings, dog-earing pages that named truths I'd felt but never articulated. Her words weren't a rallying cry. They were an invitation, a permission slip. Here are 5 lessons that quieted my shame and rekindled my hope. Sensitivity isn't a weakness, it's a superpower. Cheng-Tozun writes, the world needs fiery protests and the quiet hands that mend what's broken. I'd always compared myself to the loudest activists, the ones who seemed to thrive in the spotlight. But when I leaned into my empathy, writing letters to lawmakers, creating art for marginalized voices, Listening deeply to survivors, I realized my tenderness was not a liability, it was my contribution. Reframe sensitivity as a lens, not a limit. Justice needs healers as much as it needs warriors. Sustainable activism starts with small, steady flames. I used to sprint until I crashed, volunteering for 5 committees while ignoring my own shaking hands and sleepless nights. Cheng-Tozun cautions burnout is not a badge of honor. She introduced me to the concept of micro-advocacy, planting seeds, not fireworks. Now I focus on one cause at a time, mentoring a refugee student weekly or stitching quilts for a shelter. Progress isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a whispered, I am still here. Empathy is an action, it's not just a feeling. The book asks, what if changing the world begins with seeing the world, truly seeing it? I'd paralyzed myself with despair over global crises, but Cheng-Tozun taught me to pivot that overwhelm into acts of witness, intimate acts of witness. I started showing up for neighbors instead of hashtags, brought meals to a grieving single dad, sat with a lonely elder. Justice, she argues, isn't just systemic, it's relational. And relationships are built in quiet corners. Quiet leadership is still leadership. You don't need a megaphone to lead. I dismissed my strengths, writing, organizing behind the scenes, mediating conflicts because they didn't fit the activist archetype. When I coordinated a community garden for food insecure families, I saw how my quiet stewardship created space for others to grow. Leadership isn't about volume, VOLUME. It's about creating containers where change can take root. Rest is resistance and community care. The most radical lesson, you cannot pour from an empty cup, but you also don't owe the world your bones. I'd internalized the idea that self-care was selfish until Cheng-Tozun reframed it as collective care. Now I set compassion boundaries, no social media after 8 p.m., Sundays offline, therapy is non-negotiable. By nurturing myself, I nurture my capacity to show up. And sometimes the most revolutionary act is a nap. The auditorium still exists, and so does the park bench. So does the kitchen table where I write letters, the garden where I kneel in the soil, the quiet mornings I guard like sacred ground. The book didn't turn me into a different kind of activist. It helped me honor the kind I already was. Justice, I've learned, isn't a performance, it's a practice. And for those of us who feel deeply, love softly, and work steadily, there's a place for us here. In fact, the movement couldn't bloom without us. The inner work of the heart is as much a part of social justice as the advocacy in the streets. Only when you can see who you authentically are can you begin to grasp what meaning and purpose look like for you. And only then can you live out the best version of yourself, which is what humanity most needs from you anyway.
Dorcas Cheng-Tozun offers 6 possible categories of sensitive types and their related pathways. 1. Connectors. Relational activists whose interactions and conversations build the social capital necessary for change. Our current social and political climate is characterized by increasing polarization, confrontation, and a decline in empathy. This makes constructive dialogue and collaborative problem solving extremely difficult. Empathetic activists can serve as a vital counterbalance to this trend by promoting understanding across divides through active listening and seeking win-win situations rather than adversarial approaches. Empathetic approaches have historically been more effective in creating lasting social change. Research shows that nonviolent movements are twice as likely to achieve their goals compared to violent campaigns. 2. Creatives. Artists and creators whose work inspires, sheds light, makes connections, and brings issues into the public consciousness. Creativity is one of humanity's most powerful tools in the fight against inequality and oppression. Think outside the box. Some of the most impactful social justice initiatives have come from unconventional approaches. Be open to innovative ideas and methods that may not fit traditional activism molds. Examples of creative activism are using advertising techniques to create peace, to promote peace, and creating immersive art installations to build empathy for marginalized groups. Third are the record keepers, archivists who preserve essential information and hold our collective memory and history. The stories of all humanity, but especially those of the marginalized and oppressed, owe their ongoing existence to the record makers and keepers among us. Four, builders, inventors, programmers, and engineers who center empathy as they develop society-changing products and technology, leveraging technology to increase access to education or healthcare, and developing games or interactive experiences to teach about social issues. 5, the equippers, educators, mentors, and elders who build skills and knowledge within movements and shepherd the next generation of change makers. And 6, readers, data-driven individuals who utilize information as a persuasive tool to effect change and propose options for improvement.
Thank you, Laura. Poet Martha Postlethwaite shares this poem. Do not try to save the whole world or do anything grandiose. Instead, create a clearing in the dense forest of your life and wait there patiently until the song that is your life falls into your own cupped hands and you recognize it and greet it. Only then will you know how to give yourself to this world so worthy of rescue. Amen. Please join me and Brenna in singing the closing hymn, number 298, Wake Now My Senses. And if you would, please remain muted. Otherwise, it'll be a bit of a cacophony, but it might be fun.
Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow. Giving, receiving as love shows us how. Wake now my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer thy limit and praise the sublime. Wake now compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the white sky. Take as your neighbor both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. transformed by our care.
Spirit of life and love, the weight of a world filled with so much pain and beauty rocks us. When we want to escape, help us remember. Help us find the sound of rain, the relief of darkness, the kinship of rebellious community, the comfort of soft animals and kind people. Remind us that our sensitivity is also our strength, that a breaking heart is also a way to wholeness, and ultimately to you.
Laura, you're muted.
I was singing. Now we'll do our chalice extinguishing. As we extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of humanity, or the fire of commitment, these we carry in our hearts and out into all the world.
When the darkness around you seems too hard to bear, and it feels like the whole world is governed by fear, when the pathways before you make you feel paralyzed, you can trust in your being and open your eyes, 'cause faith can move mountains and love can break chains and peace can part oceans and hope can douse flames. There's power within you, strength in community. Faith can move mountains. Have a little faith in what can be. When you're feeling so weary and you can't see the way, when the dark overwhelms you, getting worse every day, just remember your power comes from what lies within. Yourself is your strength, and you'll be whole again. 'Cause faith can move mountains, and love can break chains, and peace can part oceans, and hope can douse flames. There's power within you, strength in community. Faith can move mountains. Have a little faith. Faith can move mountains. Have a little faith. Faith can move mountains. Have some faith in what can be.
Amen. It is safe to unmute yourselves now if anybody would like to share with each other this morning. Also, I want to find out if we have any announcements. I do have one. This Tuesday, the older, wiser, loving souls, I saw this in the chat, maybe you did too. Both groups are going to be meeting on Zoom, and they're going to, at the church Zoom, and you're going to meet at 9:30 for a time of fellowship. And then the meeting actually begins at 10 and then ends at 11:30. And if Sue, if you want to unmute and add anything to that, feel free to. Is there any other announcement this week? I haven't received any.
Yes, chili cook-off.
Chili cook-off. Okay. The chili cook-off went really well. Attendance was a little lower this year, but that did not affect enthusiasm or the donations. I think after all is said and done, we're going to clear over $500 on that. So
Yeah.
that's pretty wonderful with that, all the expenses. So that,
$500, Russ.
I'm sorry, can you turn
Yes,
your
yes,
volume
yes.
up? I can't hear who's speaking.
Sorry, that was me. Pass.
Nyla.
Nyla. Oh, okay. Nyla, I'm sorry we missed you there last night, but we did enjoy your chili very much. Thank you.
The chili went very well. I enjoyed several bowls myself.
Great.
I do want to make a quick announcement that we are officially looking for a choir director. We are posting the job everywhere. We'll also be sending that out to everybody through an email. So if you know anybody who's interested in being a very part-time choir director for our community, please send them my way, or you can have them just email their information to music@uufhc.net, and I will share the job description and information with them directly.
There's one more announcement in the chat from Cindy. We are still looking for General Assembly delegates. I think the last thing I saw, somebody did 3, and it's all on Zoom this time.
I want to add that I'm really grateful for this service. It could not have been better timed. And I'm also grateful that Sue Canals and Aaron Gallagher were able to go to Minnesota and be with the more than 600 UU clergy who gathered there, along with so many people from other faith traditions. It was really awesome what they were able to do, and it's not fully reflected in the news reports what actually happened. So thank you both for going.
I can't wait to hear from you.
Yeah, let us know if you ever need bail money for that sort of thing.
We had a plan. We were not planning on getting arrested. It was a very well organized action. So the only people that were getting arrested or risking arrest were people that were local on the ground, where the lawyers were already well aware of what was happening and ready to step in. So we weren't getting arrested, but you never know. So we did have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to post in the chat a link to a wonderful article about the faith-based response, and we'll put that in the news bites this Thursday too, for those who aren't able to get it from the link in the chat. It's the religion news covered the faith-based response much better than any other outlet. So that's a really good, useful article to read, and it quotes some of our UUs.
Yay.
So how cold was it in Minnesota?
The wind chills, it was like -25, but it was really hard. I never actually felt cold. Kathleen Mader gave me this ginormous, very thick jacket and was like, I know you. I've known you since you were little. You run around in a jacket that's not zipped all winter long. And I was like, guilty. So I went and got the jacket, and I was very, very grateful because I never felt actually cold, but there were between 60 and 75,000 other people standing all together. And so there were many jokes about how the ambient temperature was probably a bit higher than outside that gathering.
Like those penguins that gather, and the ones on the inside, it's like summer, and then they take turns rotating to the outside so that everybody can stay warm, right?
And actually, because of the They were very serious temperatures, even for people living in Minneapolis. So the march was originally planned to be even longer. They shortened the march, and then they also had it end at the Target Center, which was indoors. So then there was a huge rally they filled the Target Center. So it was an amazing thing to be part of.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for making it possible for us to go, putting the idea in my head.